What's up guys, welcome back to Deck Tech for Decks. I'm your host Caleb. Special shout out to my high contributing patrons, Newsome, you rock. Now let's get into today's Deck Tech with Duskana. And guys, this thing's busted. The thing that I like about it is its base power 2. So if we buff those 2/2s up, they're still going to trigger whenever they attack, getting that +3/+3. A lot of cool synergies we can use is honestly extra combat steps, because we will get Duskana to trigger on each combat. So now instead of giving +3/+3, you're getting +6/+6 and an additional combat. So you're literally slamming your opponents to death and your things are just getting bigger. There's also a lot of notable 2-drops that just so happen to be super powerful. Callan's pretty busted here because not only can we tutor up an equipment, Helm of the Host, but additionally it has double strike, giving a 2/2 double strike, and then +3 you're hitting someone with 10. That's going to do a lot of damage very quickly. Another thing of note with this commander is it's very easy to use cards like Cutsil and Sovereign Oakenek to get value because they're instantly past their base power with our commander. And on top of that, you know we're going to blink our commander a bunch or even create token copies of him to get that card advantage. Once this deck gets a board state, it just kind of explodes out of control with value and a ton of damage. So if that sounds like a deck tech you want to get into, let's get into it. But before we do, I would like to thank today's video sponsors, Into the AM. Guys, I've been wearing their shirts like crazy, and honestly, it's just because they're so comfortable. I'm obsessed with this product. I mean, right now I'm wearing an extra large. As you can see, it fits me very well and tapers at the sleeve, which again, that's the best selling point of these shirts. I just feel amazing in them because they're so comfortable, and then additionally, I feel like they make me look better in them because again, they fit my body just perfectly. So if you guys want to get some of these awesome t-shirts, they've got amazing graphics designs, they are giving me a 10% discount, and that goes to my audience as well. So go ahead, pick yourself up some dope shirts that are comfortable and fit you the way they need to. With that being said, let's get back into this deck tech. Let's kick it off by talking about the 2/2s. 4th Erlingas, yep, that's what we're going with. This is an insane card. It gives you a bunch of 2/2s that have trample and haste. This is going to synergize amazingly with our commander because they're going to instantly be 5/5s, and we're going to attack our opponent out of nowhere. And honestly, this can be a swingy card that wins us the game after a board wipe. Finale of Glory, kind of the same thing, but you kind of just have to pass and go unless you have another haste enabler out on the battlefield. Adipose Offspring. Honestly, this card's kind of messed up. We're going to have 5/5s in the deck innate because again, a lot of the cards are 2/2s, and then the commander's going to buff them up. So at worst, this is going to net you like 5 creatures. 5 2/2s can draw you an instant hand, so I'm not going to complain there. And also, it's just 25 power on the board. Spawn Wraith is absolutely insane in this deck because it's essentially a 5/5, and you're going to double the number of Spawn Wraiths you have every combat. And when you pair that with additional combat steps, yeah, that can just be lethal, especially if you have an haste enabler on the board. Othari Sun's Glory. This one's insane. Now, we don't get the attack trigger off of the rebels that Othari creates, but the fact that Othari can create so many 2/2s, it's just going to be worth a slot in the deck. Skyhunter Strike Force can give all of our creatures melee. That's going to be a +3/+3 on top of our commander, assuming we're attacking all of our opponents. Ultramarines. What I like about this card is the ceiling is very high and the floor is not too bad either. It's going to give all of our other creatures +1/+1, and then we have that squad ability. So the more we can pump into this, the bigger our board's going to get. And remember, our commander is going to buff all of those 2/2s up, so it can get pretty insane very fast. Kellen's just going to be a massive creature in the deck because of that double strike. Additionally, it can fetch us Helm of the Host and Sword of Hearth and Home, which are very key to the deck because again, we want to start creating token copies of our commander or blinking it for that card advantage. Silver Blade Paladin is just going to give it and another creature double strike, which again, double strike's kind of busted in this deck because they're going to deal 10 damage to someone when they connect. Yeah, that's just not okay, especially when we're running stuff like Taya Bearclaw that can just get extremely massive. Goblin and Archomancer, honestly, it's a 5/5 that reduces the cost of our spells. You can't, go wrong there. Additionally, Adelan Jackal is going to be amazing. It has trample and haste, so you're going to get instant value, you're going to ramp a ton, and it's going to be a 5/5 instead of a 2/2. Jolene, kind of the same thing, right? She gets massive. We're going to get a little bit of treasures off of her, so she's ramp as well. It's just going to be perfect in this deck. Miri, there's kind of a lot of legendaries we run in the deck, so the fact that we can just attack with a 5/5 that has haste for 2 mana and then draw cards on top of that is just going to fit perfectly into what we are trying to do. Jorkadeen, kind of the same thing here. It's always going to have 5 power whenever it attacks with our commander out, so we're always going to get that card advantage. Mentor of the Meek, now we are buffing these creatures up, but they all enter as 2/2, so paying 1 to draw a card, I will take that. Marlock is solid removal, the fact that we can make this guy massive, and then our commander is just going to make him even bigger. It's going to be pretty solid, especially if we can trigger that Ravenous ability and we can get it to replace itself. It's just icing on the cake. Samwise Gamgee, again, there's a lot of legendaries in this deck, so having solid recursion that can also get in for damage, I'll take that. Tashar, again, just solid recursion. A lot of the deck is low to the ground, 3 mana value, so the odds that you're constantly recurring stuff with Tashar is pretty high. Grinzo, the fact that we can goad a lot of creatures, making sure we can get in for damage, and then additionally exiling the top cards of our opponent's library to cast them is pretty cool as well. Notably, that's not once per turn, so if you deal 3 damage, you can goad 3 creatures or exile 3 cards of the top of the player's library. It's pretty cool. Fable of the Mirror Breaker is also kind of cool tech in this deck because you're not only going to get the 2/2 Goblin Shaman, but additionally, Reflections of Kiki-Jiki is also a 2/2. So you're going to get 2 2/2s out of this, and you can start creating token copies of your most broken creatures. This can go infinite with Combat Celebrant, I'm almost positive, and that's going to be pretty busted, but honestly, both of the pieces are very synergistic in the deck, so I couldn't not include them. Bane of Progress, another creature you're like, oh yeah, that is a 2/2. Just really good in the deck and wipes out all of the artifacts and enchantments. Moving on to the core of the deck, we have Kamal, Heart of Krosa. Now we need Trample in this deck to make sure we're not just getting chumped blocked. And then additionally, it's going to give all of our creatures 3/3 on top of our commander. So that's going to be +6, and they're all 2/2s. So they're going to be attacking for 8 damage, and they all have Trample. Yeah, that's going to get insane, especially when you take into account once you start adding extra combats into the mix, both Kamal and our commander will trigger on the additional combat as well. So now all of our 2/2s are getting +12 damage with just 1 additional combat step. Yeah, that's going to be pretty busted. Sovereign Okenek, again, triggers on attack, so every combat step, busted. Now, the only problem is it's going to be hard to get this one buffed because it is a 3/4, so we're going to have to do something or finagle something to make sure Sovereign Okenek just doesn't die, but the fact that it gives +3 to our entire board in the form of counters instantly, I could not include that. Aurelia the War Leader, just some extra combat shenanigans. Karlach, again, we want those extra combat steps. It's super synergistic in this deck. Combat Celebrant, again, pretty busted. Mirag Fury of Akum, another one that's just going to give us a ton of extra combat steps. This deck does have green in it, so it has the potential to play a ton of land cards, and then Mirag's just going to be super busted with that. Delina Wildmage is also going to be insane in the deck with extra combat steps because we're just going to get additional copies of our commander. Now, notably, I'm not sure how the stacking of the triggers works in relation to the +3/+3 because everything attacks all at once, so I'm not sure if you're allowed to resolve the Delina Wildmage trigger and then the token copies of our commanders, giving all of our creatures +6/+6 if you create 2 token copies, but you can go ahead and let me know in the comments down below if that's how it works or if you're just doing it for the card advantage. I'm definitely not a judge. Either way, you would just play this card for the additional card advantage because it's that good. Home of the Host, this one's amazing with our commander as well because I know for sure it does work that way since you create the token at the beginning of the combat. So you create the token, you get the card advantage, all your 2/2s attack, and they'll get +6/+6, and that'll even work with additional combat steps, giving you +9, +12, however many combat steps you have, you're going to get a token copy of your commander, and it's going to be busted. Notably, this does go infinite with Aurelia the War Leader, which is also just kind of broken. Sword of Hearth and Home, another card that surprise goes infinite with Aurelia the War Leader. But additionally, guys, this is going to be amazing to blink our commander again for that solid card advantage. Rhythm of the Wilds and Rising of the Day are solid cards that just give our entire board haste. Haste can really make this deck. Invasion of Ikoria, honestly, I included this because I like just flipping the backside and not having to worry about math. Math kind of sucks for us green players, so the fact that you can just flip it and you don't have to worry about math and you can smash face, it makes me super happy. Boros Charm for protection, Heroic Intervention, Akroma's Will, all of these can not only protect our board, but additionally, Akroma's Will just win you the game. Clever Concealment, also one of my very favorite protection cards. The fact that you'll have no mana open and you can still cast this is broken and always catches your opponent off guard. The Reaver Cleaver, honestly insane in this deck. We do end up with a lot of cards in hand, so being able to generate a ton of mana is going to be very important, and the Reaver Cleaver can easily do that. Professional Facebreaker can do it to a point, but not as good. It can also give us a pseudo form of card advantage, so we'll take that. Speaking of card advantage, let's talk about it. We have Toski, Bearer of Secrets, Kutso, Malamet Exemplar, and Ornn Frostfang. Now whenever we're bashing face, we're drawing cards. Guardian Projects and the Great Hand will just draw us a card whenever we cast a spell, as well as Beast Whisperer will also make this cut. Minkskin Boo, honestly an insane card. I've been having a lot of success with this card. The fact that you draw a ton of cards and can remove the biggest threat on the board at the same time is just honestly not okay. Last March of the Ints will also be in this deck because we ramp hard, and then additionally, like I said, the card advantage can get pretty insane. So being able to draw a ton of cards and then put all of your creatures onto the battlefield is going to be amazing, especially if we can give them haste. Moving on to the ramp package, it's super simple. We're going to run 3 elves and then the staple 3 ramp cards that I put in every deck. Simple enough. Moving on to removal. We have Song of the Dryads, Beast Within, and Generous Gift to get rid of any permanent causing us issues. Nature's Claim and Swords to Plowshare is just really efficient removal. Tybalt's Trickery for that counterspell when you have to interact with the stack. The Battle of Bywater can be a pretty solid one-sided board wipe. Now, your commander will get completely axed, but everything else will be saved, so that's going to be solid. Blasphemous Act is an absolute staple. You definitely need to be running this. Austere Command can be very flexible. It can kind of save a lot of our board as well, because like I said, a lot of it is really low to the ground. This playtest, we'll scroll down. It's a little slow because we're not doing anything till turn 3, but Professional Facebreaker, Jolene can kind of go insane since this is a single trigger. So it can kind of turn it into like create 4 treasure tokens every time you deal combat damage. So we're gonna take that. Let's go ahead and go here. Let's find a plains. We're missing white. Plains. Go to our next turn, and we're gonna do absolutely nothing. We can hold up a Tybalt's Trickery. That's what we'll say. We'll say someone tried to win. No. Enters card if you don't control game draw into the battlefield. Wait. Okay, we messed up. We should have played this one first and then that one. But we'll say that we did that because we're good Magic players. We're going to play Farseek, and then we're just going to get a little bit more ramp. Or actually, do we just get... Let's get Facebreaker down here. We've done nothing for 3 turns, so we need to get a board presence. And next turn, top deck a land? Yeah, never punished. We'll play Jolene, attack with Facebreaker. Facebreaker will trigger, netting us 1 treasure token, which will actually net us 2 treasure tokens. Add counter, so 2 treasure tokens, and then Jolene will trigger. And whenever a player attacks 1 or more of your opponents, that player, okay, so 4 treasure tokens. Then we probably... Let's Farseek here. It is worth noting we have Blasphemous Act in hand. So if someone went crazy, or if our opponents went crazy on those 2 turns, we could have just Blasphemous Acted and we would have been completely fine. So we'll say that we did that. Reset the board before we played these, I guess. I don't know. We'll play the Forge right here. And then it's time to get our commander. Sorry, we did have to use 2 of those treasure tokens. Treasure. Cool. Yep. And then probably get our commander out. It's time. Draw a card. That's fine. Bane of Progress. I like it. We will go ahead and attack. Jolene will be 5. Facebreaker here will generate 2 treasure tokens off the Facebreaker, 2 treasure tokens off Jolene, and then the Facebreaker Jolene trigger, if she deals combat damage, we'll get another 2 treasures. So pretty busted interaction there. That's why I kept this hand. And then we'll play Toski, Bearer of Secrets for the card draw, and we will go down 3 treasure tokens. Set counter. We'll go to 5, and then we'll go to our next turn. Okay, Ash Barrens. We just kind of want to draw a lot of cards here. So we are going to attack, or we could sack treasure tokens here. Let's see what we get. Let's exile the top 2 cards of our library. Well, we'll do one at a time. Kamal's pretty good. So we'll go down to 4 treasure tokens. We'll sack all 4 of them. 5, 6, 7, 8. Cast Kamal. Kamal's pretty good here because of the interaction with the commander. And then we have 3 left, but that's fine. So what's going to happen is, might as well animate a land here. Yeah, we're not keeping, or we'll leave Tybalt's Trickery up, I guess. So we will give everything +3. So that's going to be 8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 from the commander. So Jolene's going to be an 8 power creature. You're going to be 3, and Toski's also going to be 3. So what's cool about this is now we have Toski online and Facebreaker. They all have trample. We're going to deal the damage. We're going to attack all 3 of our opponents, and then hopefully all 3 deal damage. And assuming all 3 take damage, we're going to get 6 treasure tokens off of Professional Facebreaker and 2 off of Jolene. So we're going to get 6 treasure tokens. And then let's just instantly sack all 6 treasure tokens to throw out Bane of Progress. Just cuz. That's going to wipe the board of our opponent's BS, and then we will draw 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. And then we'll go to our next turn. Okay. I wish we could give Combat Celebrant haste here, because that would be busted. I guess we could have sacked the 6 treasure tokens to look for a haste enabler, but that's neither here nor there. It'll be fine. Combat Celebrant does not have haste here. That's what sucks. Wait. Oh, guys. Okay. We saw it. So Delina Wild Mage. Oh, wait. It's tapped and attacking. That's unfortunate. Well, let's see how many Kamals we can make and just try to end the game. That's probably a better idea anyway. Do we still play Combat Celebrant is the question. We probably just play another 2/2. Yeah, we'll probably just play another 2/2, which will be fine. It has haste, so we're good to go. Now, let's see how many Delina triggers we'll get. This will get 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3 because of our commander. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, come on, let's go. Big rolls. Delina Wild Mage on Kamal. 18, hell yeah. So let's go ahead and make a token copy. Everything gets another +3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I guess I should read Delina Wild Mage. I know you guys just saw the deck tech, but you create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of creature, except it's not legendary. Exile it at the end of combat. If you roll a 15 or 20, create one of those tokens and then roll again. So is it, oh wait, is it when she attacks? Can't do that. Fuck. So we can't do that this turn. That blew my whole play out of the water. Let's go to, that's so depressing. That's so depressing. We'll just do Combat Celebrant, and we'll say that never happened, and we'll just go to our next turn and have the fun Kamal turn. Okay, now we can have the fun Kamal turn. Okay. Everything attacks. Let's see how many Kamal triggers we get. And then additionally, we are going to exert Combat Celebrant, getting us an extra combat step no matter what. So we're going to go ahead. We'll roll again because the 18 doesn't count. I got a 4. So I'm only going to get 1 extra trigger of Kamal. Honestly, that's probably enough to kill everybody. Because that's 11. Sorry, I think I did that one. This one can get another +3. Okay. And then everything on taps. We're going to go to another combat step. We have all the treasure tokens in the world. And then we're gonna draw a ton of cards off Toski too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 cards. Is this okay? So a Chroma's Will is an instant, so we can actually cast a Chroma's Will here. And since we got the treasure tokens from Facebreaker and Jolene. That's going to go ahead and give everything double strike. So we do just win the game here, but I like to roll dice, guys. So let's see if we could get another Delina Wild Mage trigger. 9. Okay, so we only make 2 Kamals. That sucks. But 2 Kamals and everything has double strike. Everything's plus like 15 right now. Because remember, our commander would trigger on the extra combat step as well. So they're getting +3, +6, +9. All of our 2/2s are getting +9. Insane. So yeah, we're definitely going to be able to get away with the win here. Turn 8, not bad for how absurd it was. And then additionally, depending on the game, we probably could have killed someone a little bit earlier because, again, this board state was just absurd. We also had interaction the whole time with the Tybalt's Trickery, and we had an early game Blasphemous Act to make up for our slow start. So with that being said, guys, we're going to end the playtest here. Kind of an insane Naya deck. Really happy with it. Again, we probably could have killed most of the players turn 7, and then turn 8 untapping with Delina Wild Mage and Combat Celebrant just really got us there. So yeah, let's go ahead and end the video. Thank you for watching. I would like to thank all of my patrons, Excessum, Chicken Salad, Newsome. You guys are amazing. You really keep the channel going, and especially all of my other patrons that join me weekly on the Weekly Voted Deck Tech. If you want to become a part of the Weekly Voted Deck Tech, you can subscribe to the Patreon down below. And as always, I hope this helped you in your deck building endeavors. I will see you in the next one.